Vikings and the Commanders, right? Vikings won this game 20-17. You know, yeah. So let's go right into it. We're gonna start with you, Trent. All right, give us your feedback from that game.
Yeah, Joe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I got a lot of Washington fans on my end too, and I was actually watching the end of that game, and I felt so bad for all of y'all. Uh, that's just that's a tough situation to be in. It's undisciplined, and I think that's kind of what's been Washington's Achilles heel versus some other things. But I mean, the run game is Joe. You come at me with the Buccaneers and the run game, and the Washington run game is I feel like I'm watching the Bucks when I'm watching Washington try to run the ball. I mean, you got two guys out there who were on schedule, but just 13 carries for Robinson, 11 for Gibson. No one really taking over that backfield. And I would love to see, side note, I would love to see Antonio Gibson get a role like he had in college. I mean, this guy played wide receiver at Memphis and was a stud. And I mean, the fact that I'm not saying he's Debo Samuel, but the fact that they're not creating some type of role for him to where he can get out in space and kind of make things happen is beyond me. But transition to the Vikings, I think that TJ Hawkinson ad is huge. He had 9 catches on his in his first game. So just getting Cousins another weapon on top of Jefferson and Thielen, who's been solid, but his age is creeping up on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say last thing real quick is the Washington defense just did not look great. Letting Kirk Cousins just kind of throw the ball at will. He had, I think it was what 246 passing yards or something like that, something in the high 200s, and the 2 touchdowns. So hopefully Chase Young coming back for Washington helps that Washington pass rush because they can't just let quarterbacks sit in the pocket and have a field day out there.
I gotta disagree with you, Trent. All right, I gotta disagree with you. All right,
On which
so
part?
the defense part, the defense part. All right, I think the defense played great. They played good. They played good enough to win that game. Um, you look at that whole game. Kirk Cousins really had probably 2 good drives the whole game. It was the first drive when Justin Jefferson was just scorching our DBs, right? And then he scored a touchdown. And then after that, between like the second drive of the game, all the way up to that Dalvin Cook touchdown, he was kind of like stalled out. They would convert like a first down or two, but they never got into they never really got into the red zone. Remember the score was 17-7 going to the fourth quarter. Well,
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter it was 17-7. So
that's
they did
what
an awesome job.
I had it written down here. That's what I was looking for. So 245 of the passing yards accounted for 301 of the total offense for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, they
guys
kind
shut
of run
down
upon
the
them.
run. But I just felt like third down. I just felt like the secondary was getting torched for a good part of the game.
Yeah, it was a big plays, and because he was almost like he was 22 from 40 from the field from the 22 or 40. He only got sacked twice, but he was pressure all game. But what lost us the game, obviously, the Taylor Heineke interception lost us the game. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Taylor Heineke is the type of quarterback you got to live with it. I mean, I can't say, oh no, Taylor Heineke, because he's like that. He made these magic plays. But he gets bailed out a lot. He threw the ball in triple coverage at Curtis Samuel. That was straight fluke. Like that should have been picked off. But the referee tackled one of the DBs and helped us out. That happened. So a lot of the Commanders fans criticizing Scott Turner, which I don't think he's doing a good job. He called a QB draw on 39. Like, come on now. Like we got the midfield. We in a situation, if we get another first down, we can put ourselves in field goal range. On 39, you do a QB draw? Like, come on, man. Right? That reminds me of the Daniel Jones quarterback sneak for real. Right?
Right.
So that happened. But I like the call they made. It was 4th and 1, and we ran a play action pass and give it a Terry on the bootleg. And Terry the DB made a good play. He dropped it. A lot of people said, oh, we should have ran it. But those same people last week, we went for it on 4th down as a coach. And we ran it. And they said, why are we running? Why are we running? Like, these Commander fans sometimes can be crazy. So that was a good call by him. But Ron Rivera, man, it's always one error he makes every game. I think it was second down. It was second. Taylor Heineke almost got sacked. He spinned off and got tackled on he gained 9 yards. It's either 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1, one of the two. He threw a challenge flag. He threw a challenge flag. Like, why are you throwing a challenge for 1 yard? He throws a challenge flag. We lose a challenge. So now, when the Vikings are burning the clock, we don't have a timeout to stop the clock. So we get the ball back with 14 seconds left. Remember last week, Taylor threw an interception, and the coach
Mm-hmm.
went down and scored, and then we got the ball back and we scored and won the game. So that's how I looked at it. And lastly, oh my goodness, John Ridgeway tackling the center. Like, come on, man. Like little stuff like that is like, come on, dog. Like,
You're
whoever the
welcome.
special team coach, go ahead.
Yeah, I said you're welcome. He came from
Oh,
Dallas.
like, I know he's a rookie, but you a special team coach. That's some of the things you talk about. Because people jump over the piles like that. You can't do this, you can't do that. That should be talked about throughout the whole training camp and all that stuff, right? So when he made that penalty, that lost us the game also, because we would have got the ball back with over a minute left, with basically almost 2 minutes left. But instead, we get it back with 14 seconds. But defense did an awesome job. When they got into the red zone, we stuffed them. They didn't score. So yeah, that's my thing on it. I still believe they still make the playoffs, because the NFC is not good. But that was a tough loss for us.
It's time, Joe. You see,
Yeah,
Kev.
I wouldn't say the NFC is not good. I would say it's a dogfight because look at your record right now. Everyone's still like 1 or 2 games away from making the playoffs. Look at the NFC East. Like if you all would have
Mm-hmm.
won, like imagine that's right there looking like all 4 teams could make the playoffs. So I wouldn't say it's a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. So your
But
take
yeah,
now, Tombo.
I was just gonna say one thing. I know it felt good to be Kirk Cousins to come home and win that game like that. That was
Yes,
one
sir.
thing, man. Then there was another few things that you found out in that game is that even though your secondary was getting torched just a little bit, they were making plays when it was time to make some plays.
They
I.e., that
were.
one play that got called back, the pick six that had Twitter in shambles. They were like, "Man, what is going on here?" And I told my good friend, I was like, "Look, man, that's that Dan Snyder need to sell the team play right there." With the rest are just like, "Nope, bring it back." So there are little key elements to your defense that's coming back. You got Chase Young, who can add to that pass rush because again, your pass rush was there, and for you all to shut down Dalvin Cook, he only had 47 yards on 17 carries. Like
I took the under
that's
on him
good
too.
enough. See, but your run defense has always been that way. When you all played Dallas, it was the same way. You shut down both of our
Mm-hmm.
running backs. It's always the linebackers to the secondary with you all. It gets tricky in that area. But to me, I wouldn't hang my head too low on that. Just look at it like
Mm-hmm.
this. Also, and I looked up another thing with Heineke because there's a lot of back and forth on the quarterbacks where there's a quarterback controversy brewing. So far, his record's like 9-10, I think. If I'm
Nine and
wrong on
nine
that,
now.
then it is
Yeah, I think he's 10-9. We beat the Colts 10-9.
okay. Okay, hey,
Yeah.
maybe we can go back on that. But I think you all have your quarterback for the future. I really think you need to take the time to like invest in them and like build around them because at the end of the day, with a perfect OC and a quarterback coach, he can make the team what it is. Because if you look at it, once went down and you all got Heineke, the team kind of like rejuvenated just a little bit. They was like, oh, we have hope. And one of the things that you may not like, it may be a silver lining, is when it's time to throw the ball up, he's just gonna throw it up. It may be triple covered, but a
He at least
play
throw
is
it
a,
up.
a play can be made. Versus with
Mm-hmm.
Wentz, when everyone was complaining for the first 4 or 5 weeks, he holds on to the ball too long. So there's some things, and one thing I don't want them to do is what Trent said: take Antonio Gibson and start using him like the real weapon that he is. Just me being the NFC East rival. That's all.
Yeah, let me so the Antonio Gibson thing. We need to feature him a lot more. First of all, he's our best running back, not Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson, good kid, rookie. I understand. But Antonio Gibson is way more. It's kind of like the Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. But Zeke is better, obviously, than Robinson. But Robinson's getting more touches because he's more of the bruiser, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
also the defense that play. Both of them were being physical. Jefferson
Yeah.
was holding on. He's holding Jefferson. They're both being fit. That's a second pick six. We got to take it back. One against the Cowboy. That was fluke. All right. And then this one, that was fluke. And that was a game changer one. That would have put us up by 3 possessions. So that was a key play that they didn't call. So but I think our defense is playing great. They playing way better than I expected. You look at the last few weeks, nobody's really torching us. Really, it's just our offense has been stagnant. We can't score the ball, But
Mhm.
when our rushing attack is not going well, the offense is not going well. Because Taylor, and then building around Taylor Heineke, I would be okay with that for 1 year. Instead of putting money in for a quarterback, draft a quarterback, let Taylor Heineke start another year, and use that extra money to build around for the offensive line and stuff like that, and get a legit DB instead of paying another quarterback. And then maybe we can do something with Heineke. I don't know, but draft a quarterback instead of paying for one, basically. So that's my take on that. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.